So can you tell us a little bit about the awards which you run for the natural burial grounds?
Okay, so all our members, which I like to think are the cream of the crop, are required to provide every family who has a burial with them with a feedback form that doesn't get triaged by them. It comes directly with a stamped stress envelope to us, so I can monitor their customer service and help tweak if things have been. I'm straight. If I get a howler, I'm straight on the phone saying, "What the hell happened at this funeral?" So very rare do I get a howler. I'm glad to say only maybe 2 or 3 a year. The rest are glowing in various levels of illumination. And we have independent judges every year go through over 1,000 feedback forms that come in from families who have been bothered to fill it in after the funeral. And basically just says, how were they looked after, what was special, why did the deceased choose it, or why did they choose it, and it's just a way of us keeping an eye on everybody, and then the judges they get a gut feeling reading through all these who has gone above and beyond and who has made a real difference in these people's lives at an awful time. And and I get a different people to judge every year, and they're people who don't know anything about natural burial. They're just reading the comments from the families about how they've been looked after. So it's not scientific. It's more emotive and a gut thing, and it's really strange. But every year, pretty much the same people shine. The same, different judges, they choose the same people. It fluctuates a bit, which is nice. I like to see the bridesmaids becoming the bride and stuff.
Yeah. And so how long has that award ceremony been running for?
I don't know. 13 years?
13 years? Wow,
Yeah.
so you were really early. And when did you originally get your first burial ground? So we were talking 2000 maybe?
2000 was mine. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's been most of that time.
Yeah, and so I'm helping landowners at any one time. I've got sort of between 15 and 20 provisionals on my books who are landowners, farmers, inspired individuals, or people who are wanting to open a natural burial ground and are having to go through the enormous difficulty of getting planning permission. And it is really difficult. And this year it's become even more difficult because the Environment Agency and DEFRA have upped the stakes. And
Okay. What have the Environmental Agency done? Can you divulge on that?
Yeah, absolutely. They're and you can understand why. They're super concerned about the potential pollution of groundwater.
Yes.
So they've brought in new limits on the number of people that can be buried per annum at some sites.
Yes,
and they've come up with new figures for the concentration of bodies per acre. So they want a minimum of, now they're saying 5 square meters of land per body.
Okay.
Which for every single church in the country that's got a churchyard, and every single local authority are burying at a far, far denser rate than that, and it's going to cause real problems. But they've backtracked somewhat, and they seem to be now saying that they're only going to insist on this for people who are going for it on new cemeteries or extensions. I think they've realised the enormity of the task they've sort of invented for themselves.
Yeah, it did sound a little bit unusual in the sense that, like you mentioned, the church is buried much closer than that, much denser than that, and then you've got these new environmentally focused spaces which are working to a much higher level of standardization. Doesn't kind of make sense.